Hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Don't get mad. Don't get even. Do better. Much better. Rise above and become so engulfed in your own happiness that you forget it ever happened and that they ever wronged you. Today in our space, we choose happiness. Our first OP is an angel. What do I do? Hello all. A little background before my question. My wife and I had been dating for 6 years before we got married in 2020. We were both 24. We also knew each other throughout high school and even went to the same church as kids. In the fall of 2018, my now wife messaged a semi-famous musician on Instagram some very inappropriate things. I found out via her showing me something on her phone, and the messages were pulled out. I was very hurt by this and was not sure how to proceed. I ended up forgiving her as it did not seem to be an issue due to the difference in status between her and the musician. I figured that she probably would not actually do anything with someone real. I ended up proposing in spring of 2020 after spending some time away with work in the beginning of 2020. I realized while I was away that I did not want to be with anyone else. We had never had an issue before then. Fast forward to now. She has been working a lot and has made really good friends with a female from work who happens to be gay. I did not think anything of it. This began about 3 months ago. Over the next few months, I noticed that she would always call her when I was not around, or text her rather sneaky-like. I called her out on it about 1 month ago. She confirmed my suspicions and told me she would no longer continue talking to her late at night and not hide anything from me. She also said, "I would never do or say anything to anybody that I would not want you to say." I felt good about her understanding, and we moved on. Today, I was in a room on vacation with her family when I dropped her Apple Watch from our nightstand. Curiosity got the better of me, and I went through her messages with her coworker. I was very disappointed with my findings of flirty pictures, very flirtatious text messages, and late-night phone calls. Never any news or I love yous, only playful flirting. I'm at a true loss for what to do next. I asked her why, and she said that she just likes the new feeling and that she is either all in or not in when it comes to people. The things said on the messages do not just indicate friends. She also does not have any close friends or communicates with anyone unless she sees them multiple times a week. She said she has not done anything outside of texts and calls. How do I believe this? I know that I am not a perfect husband, but I never have cheated or done anything remotely close to this. We have always been different, but I've always had an understanding on who we are as individuals and what compromises needed to be made for each other. I feel like I have lost all trust, even though she hasn't done anything physical. Any advice, similar stories, recommendations? Thank you in advance. Here comes the advice. First up from Professional Pilot, 45. I feel like I have lost all trust even though she hasn't done anything physical that you know are aware of. OP, what happened to this? I would never do or say anything to anybody that I would not want you to say. Is she actually saying she'd be fine with you flirting with someone else? I doubt it. So, she's gaslighting you hard, which is immature, childish behavior, sneaking, lying, etc. So be the adult in the room. Just tell her straight up that you know she's continued with behavior that is not acceptable to you and that she knows it's not acceptable. Whether or not she's taken it physical is up for debate because you cannot trust her now. Tell her some form of this. XYZ, since you've continued with behavior toward another person that is not acceptable and you know it is unacceptable to me, my only logical conclusion is that this person is more important to you than me in our marriage. I'm not going to do some kind of pick-me dance, since I thought that was settled when we exchanged vows of fidelity before God, our family, and friends. I want you to be free to flirt with and be romantically involved with anyone you want to be. You can send flirty texts and pics all day, every day to dozens of people you'd like, just not as my wife. Think it over and let me know what you decide by the end of the week, and walk away. Know your worth and believe it, OP. If you don't, who will? Update. Too long didn't read. Married 2 years, together for 8, no kids. My wife came out as bi and cheated on me. My wife, 26 female, came home Wednesday night, late, after eating with a friend. We, 26 male, were supposed to talk, but we had couples counseling locally at 8 a.m. the next day. So we elected to wait until then to talk. We discussed some things, her thoughts, feelings, and what we needed to do going forward. The therapist suggested that she write a letter telling me everything that went on so we could start fresh. I got home yesterday evening about 8 from the gym. She said that she wanted to tell me some things, and she knew I would be upset, but needed to get them off of her chest. During a crying attempt to get the words out, my wife admitted to me that she had accepted that she is bisexual. She said, "I have been questioning my sexuality since high school, and I have suppressed that urge until now. I kissed my 28 female co-worker, and I have told her that I loved her. I also love you, but I have love for both of you the same. In a perfect world, I would want to be shared, but I know I cannot have that. I want to be married, but I also have this part of me that cannot be kept from you. I have always desired for a woman as well, but never thought it would actually happen. Now that this has happened, this has truly opened my eyes to how I actually feel. She also said that she did not regret the experience. That hurt, but I'm trying to understand the two-person love thing. My initial feelings have been all over the place. I thanked her for telling me all of that. My response after taking a drive went like this. I love you so much, and I'm thankful that you shared that with me, as that is a big deal for you and us. However, I cannot see myself be together with you after this. I cannot share you, as this was not what I vowed to you. I cannot see how we will ever be able to move past this, as I will always know that this part of you will be suppressed if we stay together, which will in turn cause us to always lack something in our marriage, and eventually, you will have these feelings come back out. If we were to continue, there would be so much distrust from me and so much negative reassurance, as I know I will never get the 100% of you I deserve as my wife. I am upset that you lied, cheated, and were only thinking out of selfishness. However, at the same time, if this is truly who you are, I cannot live with a constant knowing of you will never be 100% committed. I am happy to support you in this journey, and I will always be hurt, but I cannot continue to be married with this information. She seemed very relieved after I was offering some sort of support for her. We did discuss that we would wait until the end of the year to announce divorce. I want to give her time to prepare her mentally, and me some time to heal before making any rash decisions. We are going to pay off a few things, sell a home, and finalize everything within 5 to 8 months. I told her that I would not mind staying in the home with her until we get everything completed, but we would be roommates with full intent of divorce. We both agreed that this route was probably best in the long run. We are going to go through some more counseling individually and as a couple to both try to become stronger and learn how to both heal during this. She also said that she would want to stay married and offered to cut ties with this person, but I think that if she does, we will be dealing with this issue in the future and will be much more unhappy. As she has said, this is in the past and has not done it. I don't know which feeling is the correct feeling, as this is making me somewhat numb. I have so many questions, but at the same time, I love her too much to watch her be unhappy for the rest of her life as she was able to suppress those feelings. She seems to have made up her mind as to this is the way she is, and she seems to be at more peace accepting this. I think I have to let her go for her to be able to be truly happy with who she is. I think I have to let her go for me to be happy as well, even though she was my happiness. My first reaction comes from Gatorbro. This is her cheating on you with another person. Sexuality makes no difference. You are far more gracious than you have to be. The OP replies, I love her and want to see her be happy. I know I'm probably providing too much grace, but I want to feel good after this. And I think knowing that I helped her will in turn make her a better person. Gatorbro responds back, wow, it's a shame she doesn't see what she is losing out on. All the best to you in the future, and hopefully you will find someone that is equivalent to you. Troubled Manners chimes in next. You are correct. I would have to divorce her as well. That's not a committed relationship. She is being selfish. Mina's9 chimes in. Why do you support her? Being bisexual has nothing to do with cheating. You've let yourself be gaslit by her. She chose to cheat on you and lie to you. There will always be urges if you're a sexual person. Imagine she wasn't bisexual, just cisgendered sexual. Would you buy it then if she told you she's always been attracted to men and that's why she cheated on you? Because she needed different men inside of her? Would you support her then? If she told you before cheating on you that she figured out she was bisexual and it puts a toll on her, then I'd understand you supporting her and somehow honoring her being honest about herself and telling you her secrets. Take control over your life. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. Don't take the high road for people who betray you. Wow, OP. I'm so proud of you and how supportive you are of her. I think that goes to show just how much love you have for her. It's hard to let go of someone you love so deeply, but at least you both are going through counseling and on this healing journey together. It's unfortunate that she couldn't tell you how she was feeling earlier in your relationship and instead turned to infidelity. But you choosing to understand and respect rather than deranged, it speaks volumes about your character. Think of your love for her as something that is evolving. I hope the both of you can remain civil and in each other's lives, in some form or the other. I'm sure she appreciates you and the support you're showing her. It's also hard to step into your authenticity. She's also mourning a life that she tried to confine herself to. I truly am wishing you both the best. You're one of a kind, OP. What would you do? Our next OP's ex still haunts her from the grave. Cheating husband passes away after I found out about an affair with nanny. I'm all over the place right now. My husband cheated on me with her nanny. I didn't find out until I moved out and she moved in. They dated for like 2 months, and then he was with another one of our roommates. I already feel worthless. Then he passed away 3 months after we ended things. So my coworker and I were talking about it, and he says, "Can I see a picture of him?" I show him. Then he wants to see a picture of the girl he cheated with. He says, "Wow, she's attractive." And I get annoyed. So I'm not, and I deserve this or what? And he says, "Well, I don't find you attractive, but maybe someone else will. But she's attractive, yes." I do not think this man is attractive, and my self-esteem is in the toilet, and I started crying. Anyways, I'm so over this. Anyone deal with anything like this? So still dealing with the grief, still feeling inadequate, and this all happened in like 4 months. I will be getting therapy, but I don't know, it'd be kinda helpful to know someone went through something similar. Our first reaction comes from 33. Say what, 33? You need to tell him what an incredibly rude, insensitive thing that was to say. Ask him to think how he would feel if you had said that about his wife's affair partner. Twice saying, "He's handsome." Suggest he be honest and tell his spouse exactly what he said to you. Your coworker is an a-hole. Cut him off. He's low character. You don't need more low character in your life. The OP replies, "I was thinking that. His girlfriend looks a lot more like me than the girl, and he's going on and on saying how he'd definitely like to be with a girl like that." I said, "She slept with my husband while she was living in my home." He was like, "Oh, she has issues. I like that." I was like, "Your girlfriend seemed like a nice girl. Why would you say that?" He said, "I don't know. I'm just being honest." Antique Many 5966 has another comment. That coworker is a flaming piece of crap who does not understand social cues or have an ounce of emotional intelligence, so do not take that personally. No one important, just me, has something to say. Being attractive means nothing if you're a crap person. There are a lot of people that would turn down the hottest girl if she had no morals. Your coworker is just shallow. The OP responds, "The thing is, my husband had already dumped her. She was crying, begging, trying to get him back. So at most, they were together 2 months. We were together 5 years. He had already moved on from her to another one of our roommates. It had nothing to do with how I looked, how she looked. He just couldn't be alone, ever." First off, OK, screw your coworker. His opinion of you has no correlation with your value. So you're not his type. Oh, well. It's not like you were actively searching for his approval. The reason it bothered you is because it triggered emotions that you have yet to confront since your late ex's infidelity and death. Unfortunately, everyone has an inner critic, and it can say the most brutal things when you're at your lowest. You may not even notice when your critic starts talking because you've gotten used to the constant negative background noise as you go about your day. Thoughts like, "I'm ugly, I'm fat, and I'm no good," are your inner critic's voice, and it'll keep with the same ugly talk until you put a stop to it. As soon as you realize the negative talk has started, mentally yell, "Stop!" Then make a concentrated effort to shift your focus onto something positive. Don't get caught up in the trap of disillusionment. It's self-destructive and provides nothing for your healing process. You might also think that everyone sees and judges little mistakes that you make, like forgetting someone's name or making a mistake at work, and suddenly you feel even more insecure. Give yourself some slack and realize that at the end of the day, your uniqueness and beauty are all your own, and no one can take that from you. But lastly, this OP had to hear it for herself. Found out my ex and affair partner are pregnant in the most bizarre way. My ex's mom texted me at 1 a.m. asking me to pray for my ex and so on. I immediately assumed the worst. A little backstory. Ex and I were together for 10 years. I would catch him having emotional affairs mostly, on and off the last 7 years. So the most recent affair wasn't really a shock, but it caught him 2 months after my mom died and 4 months after losing our 4th pregnancy. I was shook and left. Still loved him, but couldn't do that relationship anymore. It's been about 1.5 years since we split. So I immediately call his mom back, call affair partner, and call ex. I truly thought he was in the hospital dying or something, the way her text was worded. Affair partner answers first. Says he is at some bar or something, super drunk, doing all the same things. So I'm like, okay, he is fine. Nothing for me to worry about or deal with. Ex's mom calls me a little bit later. Says she was worried and reached out to me because ex has been suicidal and she doesn't know where he is or what is going on, and she thinks he will answer my call. That affair partner is 3 or 4 months pregnant, and my heart dropped. I have such weird mixed feelings. On one hand, I'm so thankful I'm not the one dealing with all that unnecessary drama every day. A deep, dark part of me is happy he is so unhappy about the pregnancy and the relationship is crappy. And part of me is really sad, even though I don't want to admit that to myself. I'm thankful I'm in a happy, secure relationship right now. I would be a lot more impacted by this if I didn't have a good thing going in my life. Our first reaction comes from Fit Acadia 8074. Bro, you need to block them. They're messing with your mental health, especially if their partner's pregnancy is triggering for you. Lack of respect from them, to be honest. Wish you the best. The clumsy pirate has a thought. I am sorry, what? That's incredibly manipulative of the ex-mother-in-law, don't you think? Oh, my son is sad and maybe suicidal, so I called you in the middle of the night. By the way, he's having a baby with this other woman. Huh? Shouldn't this new partner be the first call for the mother? What is this? I think he will answer your call move she's trying to pull. And does not have any empathy for you? Not only is she rattling you at 1 a.m., she's also so casually rubbing the bait in your face? Seriously, why are you in contact with these people who don't really have a sense of boundary or care for you? Joe Mama 80 has her last thought. This is a very unhealthy relationship or connection or whatever is happening here. If I were your current partner, I would be pissed and feel very disrespected, honestly. Even if he was in a hospital bed, why is this your issue to get so upset and worried about that you actually called the affair partner his current partner? I mean, clearly, his mother shouldn't have contacted you, but I just really don't understand your rush to get involved. Honestly, OP, it has nothing to do with you anymore. You should wipe your hands of it, send them good vibes, wish them well, and move on to bigger and better things. Not your monkey, not your circus. For all the rest of you monkeys out there, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, please let us know what you thought of today's content. See you next time on Our Space.